Hi, Mambo, how are you? I hope you've been well, and thank you so much for the subscriptions. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the questions. We actually love your feedback and want to welcome you back to Good News Mental Space. My name is Terry Njuguna.
And my name is Joy Eve.
And we're always here, and it's been amazing. Honestly, the feedback, we've been doing IG lives.
Yeah, definitely.
And let me just say, there are these people, I wish tungeandika mahali, we just shout them out. But thank you. If you know, you always come to our live videos every Tuesday from 9:30. Manze, tunakulev. But I want to welcome you in case this is your very first time to be here on Good News Mental Space. This is the place to be. I know you're looking for a lot of things to watch and listen to, but this is the place to be, okay? So we're all about grace. It's all about, we are not just saying it's therapy. We're not saying it's just counseling, but it's with a touch of grace. And who tells us to do that? It's our beautiful therapist here, Joy. She's all about, ukimwona ni grace too. It's just grace.
Yeah.
But Joy, how have you been?
Been very well. How have you been?
Mimi nimekuwa fiti. I think I've just been enjoying to interact with different people and applying what we've been talking about. You know, I think when we started these videos, kitambo kidogo, I was just saying, it's like I knew about grace, but sikuwa najua ni grace yenyewe. So you used to do things, and then now when you're talking, I'm like, oh, so you ilikuwa na extend grace.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But before we get to our conversation for today, maybe tell us about Good News Mental Space. Here tutaichoka kusema. If you're there, maybe it's your first time to watch. You've been looking for somewhere to just plug in and just get some help. This could be that place for you.
All right, so Good News Mental Space, it's a safe place for Christians. It's a space where you get professional help and also with a touch of grace.
Yes.
So you will get a therapist, you will get a life coach, you'll get a kids therapist, you'll get all about grace that will help you in your journey of mental health and in life in general.
That's amazing. And also something that comes with it is Grace Forum.
Grace Forum,
because also when we're doing our lives, this is why you should come to our live videos on Tuesdays. You see a lot of people asking about prices, about Grace Forum, about it, because when people are thinking about therapy, it's expensive. Nikae tu alafu ni, like my money goes like that, you know. But let's talk about Grace Forum to people who maybe cannot afford to even come for the physical sessions on their own.
All right, so basically Grace Forum is a support group and it happens every Sunday at 10 a.m. in at Outer Ring Road. So basically this is a space for anybody who feels that they've reached to their end and may in need of that aspect of continuous supply of grace for your life, for your mental health, for every aspect of your life. So this is a space where people come in and they don't come in to give, they come to receive. So it's a safe place where if you are not in a position to pay for therapy and you feel like you are really drowning in life, I mean, this is a space where we all come in and we get grace for life.
Talked about drowning in life, and that just brings me to a conversation for today, which is about rest, because some of us, we are struggling. Let's just be honest, like you're just on the move, you're always going, you're always, especially right now, maybe if people you are with in school are doing well, and you know now social media,
that's so true.
Man, it's about the life, it's about the flashy lifestyle. Nini, you go to a restaurant, the first thing you do is, you know, you take a photo, you know, and sometimes you're looking at people, they're doing so well, so you're trying to compete, yet you're drowning.
That's so true.
And sometimes you may not realize that. Let's talk about rest. What does rest mean to you?
So basically rest, you know, people normally think that rest means you don't do anything, but basically what we are talking about when it comes to rest is rest on the inside. You know, just because you're doing something, that doesn't mean that you have to be in a sense of worry or anxiety or anything. You can actually be in a place of you're peaceful, your mind is at peace, is calm, even as you're doing every other thing. That's actually what produces a lot of achievements when you're in a place of rest.
Oh, that's amazing. And you know how we normally have our places of, oh, I'm doing this and that. You're thinking, Kai, I should be doing this. So you start doing things that really God hasn't intended for you.
So true.
And so you find yourself in a rush. Always. We are always in the move. I mean, a typical thing we can look at is town. Town people are always rushing, moving. And that's how our lives are. Joy, unfortunately, we are always trying to compete, trying to look at what people are doing and not operating from a point of rest. Let's talk about that, because I know you meet a lot of clients who come in and sometimes you just tell them, rest.
Yes,
It's as simple as
true.
that.
It's actually true, because it's until you're in a place of serenity that you're able to think straight. Because most of the times, as I say, and I always tell every client, that the sun is always shining. The sun, good things will always be there. I think it's for us to be able like to allow ourselves to calm ourselves down and to be able to see the things that are there, because sometimes you may find yourself focusing so much on the negative, focusing on other people's lives, and you are unique. You know, you already have your place, you already have your journey, but then you're so focused on somebody else's journey that you forget to run your own journey, and you feel like your journey is not good enough, and that brings a lot of unsatisfactory kind of life. So that aspect of rest is being able to rest in the fact that, you know, good things are always coming your way. You know, you just need to rest enough to be able to focus, and you'll be able like to get where you need to get. You know,
In the years that you've been taking people through therapy, what do you think are some of the things that make people not to be at rest?
Most of the times, comparing yourself to other people, you know, especially on social media, you know, because it's always on people's faces how other people are living, you know, how other people, you know, somebody else is married, you know,
that engagement and everything. You're just like, wow, what? All of a sudden your left hand is active.
It's like everybody always seems to have something better than you, but then you forget that you also have good things on your end, you know, and it's not that you can't get, you know, as I say, there's this one of our clients who always say there's no life better than yours, because you're always unique. There's no life better than yours, because you have a different fingerprint. You're unique, you're worth it, you're everything that only you can be. So the time you look at yourself the way you already are, and you start seeing the beauty within your own life. You know,
so comparison is one of the major things.
That's one of the most, you know, rampant. You know, it has caused a lot of suicidal, you know, activities. It has caused a lot of stress, depression. You know, so many people are depressed because they feel like somebody else is better than them, but nobody else is honestly better than you. You are you and you are alone, and the time you see like you're you and you alone, you are who you are and you're good just the way you are and enough, then I think it becomes a life worth living. You start seeing the beauty of who you really are. You know,
let's talk about money, Joy, because pesa, I kid you not, you will tell me to rest, but I'm like, yo, I don't have moolah, I don't have money, like I need to be out there chasing the bag, like most people always say. But money has also been a major thing for a lot of people. Like you'll be telling me on the phone, or we are talking, or physically like this, you're like, but you rest. I'm like, you don't understand. I have bills to pay, I have all these things. You know, let's talk about that as well.
Right. So one of the things, especially in Grace, let's not talk about anything outside that, because honestly, poverty is real.
It is real.
But now when it comes to Grace, it's so different, because Grace is majorly a mentality that you allow yourself to think. So when you see yourself, when you come into Grace and you know that now finances is a matter of how you think, you know, and who you see yourself in when it comes to identity and what you have. So one of the things that happens even when it comes to comparing yourself is that you are trying to compare your life according to what's happening in the society, other than comparing yourself in Grace. So God has already told you He will supply according to His riches in glory, but you're too focused on what the economy is. So when you're focusing your mind on the wrong thing, most of the time you will despair. And what happens when you despair? You will believe wrong, you will think wrong, you will feel wrong. And even if you are supposed to do something that would help you get the money, your behavior even starts going wrong, because once you despair, you can't even see opportunities that you can enter into that would help you generate that income, even the wisdom to actually get the income that you need. You know, so I think money is really a mentality. How you get it is a mentality. So if you see yourself poor, most of the time you will experience that poverty.
There's a way you're pointing. I'm thinking it's like you're really addressing me, you know, saying like when I'm poor, but I'm not, guys. I'm not. I can't. I'm just messing with you. But you know, even as you're talking about, you know, personal, when it comes to personal now, you know, being at a point of rest, there's a point where, you know, fine, I can be at rest. Maybe I'm cool, I've worked on myself. In fact, I've come to Good News Mental Space. And you go, oh, Joy, oh, help me. And we've gone through that. I've worked on myself. But there's aspect of family as well. Because sometimes when I come home, maybe the people around me, maybe they're making me not to be at rest. Maybe I look at situations, I'm like, I think I should have done this better. I think I can do this better. Maybe raising my kids, maybe I can do this better. Let's talk about family when it comes to rest.
I think, you know, one of the things I normally tell people that my heart always goes out to everyone who's actually taking care of family, because it's definitely not easy, or even being part of a family. It's really, really hard.
Grace, that's just grace.
And one of the things I normally tell people is sometimes it's so important to see yourself in grace. Grace tells you that, first of all, you are first a child of God before you're anybody's daughter, or anybody's sister. So whenever you see yourself as a child of God, it helps you know that He will supply everything you need to actually interact with the people around you. Sometimes it's so complex. Sometimes there are families who are really toxic. Sometimes you may need, God may direct you to even like put boundaries. You know,
and it doesn't make you a bad person.
No. I mean, like, when you know you're loved by the Father, you realize that God wants you to be safe. And sometimes, as much as this is your parent, God is first your parent. And all in His perfect love, He wants you safe. Even if this is your father and you need to respect them, but God is first your Father. And He loves you perfectly, and He wants you to be at peace first. When you're at peace, then it becomes more easy. When they don't show you love, you're still loved. I normally tell people, just because you don't feel loved or somebody doesn't show you love, that doesn't mean you're not worth love. So the time you find your identity in Christ, let me tell you one thing, there are things even in family you will be able like to overcome. Sometimes it means to even extend grace to your family members when they are treating you, but then as you are protecting, as you are allowing yourself to actually put those boundaries as well, even interact in a way that you actually create respect. If you can't create that bond, then you may need to actually then create respect, and you're able like to interact with the people who are actually showing you the love that you need. You know, I know this is complex, and
I know.
We talk about it in therapy. Sometimes you validate people, and especially when they're doubting, should I put boundaries? Should I interact? He's my parent. I mean, like, but then you're also valuable. You know, don't allow your relationship with someone remove that sense of value, because it will never ever be able like to help you. So grace comes in to give you that sense that you're valuable. So just because somebody is your parent, is your brother, doesn't mean that they have the right to actually treat you particular. And you don't need to fight sometimes. You just need to know, you know what, let's just be respectful to each other sometimes, and it's okay. You're valuable. You're worth it. That's the reason why.
Let me tell you, if you hear Joy talk about that, imagine you being in therapy with her and her just affirming you every single time. So why not go out and check out Good News Mental Space on all social media platforms. If you have any inquiries, by the way, if there's anything that is not clear to you, see what slide to a DM for inquiries. Even if you'd want a physical, I don't know, maybe if you're not able to do a physical session, there's virtual.
There's virtual therapy.
You can also do that as well. And continue subscribing, please. If you're watching this and you're not subscribing, makosa, please go ahead, subscribe there, like, comment, share it with your friends, and let's talk about grace. And tell us your opinion on this as well. It could be you've always been on the go, it's you're always having a list, you're you're ticking it every time. I'm doing this, fine, what's the next thing? Just rest first. Rest. We're always asking for, okay, now what's the next thing I need to do? Okay, fine, and then when you're done, it's this again. Rest. And also tell us your opinion on this, your reviews on this as well. We'd love to hear from you. Okay? So hapo kwa comments tupatane hapo. But as much as we're talking about individual and also family, there's this aspect of business. Because kwanza I'm thinking people who run family businesses as well. That can be something. I mean, we are not agreeing at some point. Talk about rest and grace when it comes to that as well, businesses.
So I mean, I think maybe later we'll actually talk about the reason why we rest. You know, because sometimes until you know the foundation as to why you're actually resting, it becomes more easier to rest. Because sometimes unafikiria, I'm rested, but hey, vitu zinaendelea kuwa mbaya. I'm supposed to be waking up and dealing with it. Like it's actually foolish for me to actually rest, and I know I'm supposed to sometimes there's a person who was a parent who's looking for school fees and for the child, and they're like, I'm telling them just rest, and they're like, hey,
you're not getting,
you're
not
understanding. I cannot
understanding.
not rest.
Yeah.
But then I think when you understand the reason why you rest, it becomes the main reason why you actually even labor to rest, rest yourself. So when you realize that somebody else worked for you and what he did a perfect job, you can never do that job more than actually what he did. In fact, working is actually that aspect of pride, because you feel like Jesus did a lesser work than I did.
So I need to do more.
I need to do more. You cannot do more than what Jesus did on the cross. And the time you rest on what, not just resting, the fact that he did it. What happens when you rest in that what somebody else worked? What happens is that you will start seeing now what you need to do, and it starts flowing. I think we normally have a business grace forum, and this is one of the things that we actually talk in the forum, learning how to learning.
So we are extending grace joy as well.
Learning how to rest. And I think some of them said the time I started learning how to rest, the more I wanted to start a business, but when I rested, it just flowed.
Wow.
Because honestly, to be frank, what Christ did was a real thing.
And it's enough.
It's real and it's enough. And I think that's why the Bible says labor to rest. Be very careful when you don't rest.
True.
Because when you don't rest, then what exactly, because you don't even know the things that you might actually be battling. You know, maybe you may not be able to do it. You know, be very careful when you don't rest, because so many things come from that aspect of restlessness. You know, depression, sickness, heart disease, you know, all these things. So disease comes from an aspect of dis-ease.
Oh, okay. I've never thought of that. Okay, Joy, teach us.
I will.
But repeat that again. I mean that's so powerful what you're bringing out.
So disease causes disease. So the fact that you're diseased, most of the time it makes you be in a space of disease. You struggle with many diseases, because you know, your body may lose immunity because you're always under stress. Your thyroids will not take the fact that you're always under stress. But you know, God, in grace, God has already delivered you from all these things. And the fact that you rest in what, you know, the will of God is that you would rest in what his son has done. He's the one who supplied that person to do it, because he loves you. He's your parent. He loves you and he knows you can't handle it, but he wants you to succeed, and not in that way of toil and struggle and everything. So the time you rest in what has been done, including every other thing now starts flowing. It flows.
Let's talk of also the guilt when it comes to resting. Sometimes, I'll tell you for a fact, I go to the gym. Okay, I know. I go to the gym. But there's the aspect of, if sometimes I can take a rest maybe for a week, I feel okay. Or if it's sometimes you know, feel, why am I taking that rest? Like, sasa nimepoteza a lot. And sometimes that's how many people feel. You know, you're telling me to take a rest, even if it's physical, because also physical is important as much as you're talking about mental. But even when you're saying about rest, sometimes I feel apana. I think I need to be doing more. And like you're saying, Grace, we have been given freely. Because in our society, tumezoea kukazana, kungengana, kuteseka. So we're thinking, how is it given to me just like that? So there's that guilt that comes with just saying, be at a point of rest. Let's talk of that.
All right. So most of the time, the reason why we do go through a lot of guilt is because we see ourselves other than seeing Christ. You know, you see yourself so much. And the thing about grace removes your shift. And even in therapy, we try as much as we can to remove your shift from self to Christ. Christ is grace. You know, he took your guilt. You know, he took that work you were supposed to do. So sometimes it's a matter of training yourself to shift your mind constantly. No, somebody else did it for me. That's why I'm rested. And he did a perfect job. And sometimes it may need for you to say there's no shame for the finished work to be the only thing that I'm successful. Even if I'm going to the gym, I'm not going from a place of, oh, I'm anxious, something bad will happen. No, I'm successful. Even if I rest, the only thing that will come my way is success. Things are going to be good. Even if it's 1 week, great. You know, because somebody else did a perfect. There's nothing I can do that can honestly beat what he has
What
done.
Christ did.
And sometimes the more you convince your mind, the way the world, the way the society has convinced you, you need to work, you need to now, in grace, you need to now convince yourself, no, Christ has done it, Christ has done it.
Wow.
And that is the will of God, because he loves you and he wants you to enjoy life. He wants you to be satisfied with your life, because the results that come from the finished work, they are perfect results, they are God's results.
That's true.
And you can actually get results that you could have never ever gotten by your own strength. So afadhali kurest.
Afadhali kurest.
Soft life.
Oh, Joy loves soft life. Why?
But if I go to the gym,
heart rate. Your heart rate is well. Do you think that sometimes because of lack of identity, sometimes can make us not be at rest?
Yeah. So whenever your identity is whenever you identify yourself with the things the society has told you, that one you will struggle until you put the boundary and you realize my identity is no longer in me, but now in grace. Grace is what gives me an identity, and my identity is in Christ. Christ is the one who defines who I am. I'm not defined by my mistakes. I'm not defined by what I did or what did not do, or what my family did. You know that aspect here, even family curses and everything. So you're already defined by what your family did. But now, when it comes to grace, grace defines you according to Christ. Christ is blessed, and so are you. So, and the more your mind is occupied with grace, the more your mind is full of grace, you will always have an expectation of good. The thing is, as I say, the sun is always shining. Things are always good in your life. There are things that are around. So meaning you will eventually see the good things in your life, because you're already expectant of good things from grace.
Wow. I mean, just that in itself, I'm just really, really challenged, because like we started off by saying we are always on the go, we are always running, we are always moving. Even when it comes to Christ as well, we are thinking, okay, Lord, I need to know my next step, I need to know my next thing, what do I need to be doing? And sometimes he's saying, I just need you to rest. It's not about a checklist of I did this, I opened up a business, I went for this, but he's saying, I just need you to rest.
The work has already been done. God is satisfied. This God that you're praying, you're asking, is like, no, I want to, before you even asked me, I was intending to give you so much more. The thing is, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. So even your ways, the things you think you need to have, his ways and what he wants to give you are greater. They're greater. So yes, he will give you what you want, but then he will even give you more. So the more you rest in what has been done, you know what? This is what God sees. What grace has done for me in my place. So when God looks at what somebody else has done, he's blessing me, so he's giving me what I want, and also so much more beyond what I can ever think or imagine. So you can rest in grace. You can rest.
There's power in that. Powerful as you as a child of God just walking in rest. Whether you're in business, whether it's when it comes to family, whether it's you yourself, you just need to rest. That's our emphasis for this episode today, and unfortunately that is where we come to the end of this. Okay, hope you've learned a thing or two. And if you feel like there's something you want us to add on, or a topic you'd want for us to tackle on, tuambie hapo kwa comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, like. The place is Good News Mental Space. That's all about. We're all about grace here. And if you want any inquiries when it comes to therapy sessions, there's also kids therapy. There's for the couples as well.
Couple therapy.
There's also the individual therapy. Go ahead, inquire. Let's make this society a better place, right? So what's that? Patane next time.
Bye.